Hey, great day to you all. I guess that didn't work too well, that opening video, because it stopped. So guess what? I'll play it. Well, hey, everybody. I'm really hoping that you were able to wake up grateful today to be alive again another day in this experience. And I hope you've set that high vibe for yourself, telling yourself all of those amazing things that you need to hear. Like what? Well, primarily that you're grateful to breathe, first and foremost. And that you're grateful your body can move with ease, and you're grateful that you can feel and you can smell and you can taste and you can. And hopefully you told yourself how amazing you are and how strong, smart, and beautiful you are. And that you flow with ease like water over rocks. If somebody asked me, why do you love that saying, Toby, flow like water over rocks? Well, because my mother told me that one day and it stuck with me. Yeah, she said, Toby, just flow like water over rocks, would you? And I was like, okay, that stuck with me. So, guys, I want to talk to you about budgeting your energetic bank today. We're energy first. And, I really, really would like you guys to really understand that I don't tell you guys about your state for no reason. And don't mind me as I'm looking up something for you all because I want to read you the description of my book after. But until then, I've done a lot of talk about the chakra centers, which are your energy centers in your body. I've done a lot of talk about your states of being, and that is truly what produces all of your results. Right? Now, I just recently published a book last week, Budgeting Your Energetic Bank. And, we're energy first. So I'm going to read you the description of the book. Energy, first of all, this is Budgeting Your Energetic Bank, Managing Your True Wealth by me, Tobi Staples. And the cover art for this is done by Stephanie Paris. So I'm going to read you the description of this book so you guys can get the gist of it. Okay? Energy is our most precious resource. Just like money, our energy can be saved, spent, invested, or wasted. Understanding how to manage this energetic bank is key to living a balanced, fulfilling life. Budgeting your energetic bank, managing your true wealth, will guide you through the concepts, tools, and exercises needed to master your energy management. In today's fast-paced world, managing your personal energy is more critical than ever. Just like a financial budget, your energy needs careful planning and mindful allocation to maintain balance and achieve optimal well-being. Budgeting your energetic bank, managing your true wealth, is your comprehensive guide to understanding and mastering your energy management. This transformative book offers a deep dive into your personal energy system, exploring how your thoughts, speech, actions, interactions, and environments impact your energy levels. Through practical tools, interactive exercises, and real-life examples, you'll learn to identify and maximize your energetic deposits while minimizing withdrawals. Tobi Staples, me. has given you practical exercises designed to help you apply these concepts to your life, from energy audits and mapping exercises to emotional check-ins and budget planning. You'll have everything you need to take control of your energy and transform your life. This book offers a comprehensive guide to mastering your energy management with practical tools and exercises for real-world application. By following these principles, you can reclaim your energetic power and live a more balanced, empowered life. So, guys, when I realized that, wise up to rise up, even though I spoke about energy in that book and everything, it just didn't cut it for my heart and my soul, and obviously my boss. So I had to focus a book directly on energy management, because that is your true wealth. Without the energy of your being, maintaining a reserve, you can't even function right. Your organs don't work right. Your thoughts don't work right. Nothing works right. Your organs even need a certain amount of energy to flow properly. Yeah. So, you really have to learn how to budget. Since everybody wants to budget their finances, they better budget their real wealth. And that's the energy that they have every day. And you're either doing things that are consuming your energy without getting anything reciprocated to you, and you're running on a drain every day, which over an extended period of time, you've got a lowered reserve, which actually forces you into illness, pain, suffering, depression, anxiety. Yeah. And this is all fact-based. Like, you guys can think it's a joke, but we're energy first, whether you like it or not. Just like to create anything, you have to put energy into it. So you better know about your energy and how to budget your energy, because you don't even realize that, your conversations, they're either uplifting you and filling you up, or they are depleting you. Yeah. And half the time you get to the end of the day and you're like, oh, I'm burnt. Why am I so tired? I did nothing today out of the norm. No, well, you had a lot of conversation with a lot of draining people, or you did things that were not rejuvenating to you. You weren't passionate about what you were doing, because there is a key to maintaining your reserve of energy, that your baseline that you need to stay healthy, to function right, for your flow of energy to even have a chance of healing anything. Function right. Never mind healing something that's fixed. You can't heal if you've depleted your reserve and you don't even have enough energy to manage your body. That becomes a real problem. That's when death starts happening. Yeah. All because of energy. It's not because of disease. It is your frequency that causes the disease. Yeah. It's all of your embodiment of your energy and the way you management that actually causes all of your results, whether they're health-wise, financial, anything in your life, no matter what it is. Everything is energy first. And you need energy to create anything. Yeah. Even your mom and dad needed energy to create you. It's all energy first. Yeah. Before you create anything, it's an idea first, right? Well, it takes energy to push it from an idea to a thought. Then it takes energy to push it from a thought to a spoken word. Then it takes energy to push it from a spoken word into a creation, a manifestation of matter. It all stems from energy and the energy that you apply into it. But if you are not managing and budgeting your energetic bank properly and managing your true wealth, you could be striving for anything that you want in your life experience and never attain it, because you don't even have the amount of energy that you need to flow with, right? And we're all divine beings to begin with. And we're all in our highest power of our energy to begin with. And it all stems from not thinking about anything. Yeah. Because your thoughts can either up your energy or deplete your energy. Your words that you speak can either are there either a deposit or a withdrawal to your energetic force all the time, no matter what. So you might want to, if you haven't taken a look yet, you might want to just check out that last book that I just put out last week for you all to assist you to budget your energetic bank. And this is what it looks like. Yeah. And guess what? You can get that at lulu.com. But look at that. I love the cover. And this is going to turn into a series because I have 2 other books in the works. Yeah, to follow this. So it'll be Budgeting Your Energetic Bank 2 and 3. Yep. Yeah. So it's really important to budget your energetic bank. And you know what? On that note, let's talk some energy. Because I like to drop it real and, and everything like affects your energy. So I want to remind you guys, let me throw this up here just as a nice reminder to you all. I'm going to throw up an image right now. You're going to see 2 people. You're going to see one with a greenish kind of energy. That's the negative. You're going to see another one with a flow that is undisrupted. Okay. Now, the one in the green energy, the negative energy, has all kinds of distortions and disruptions in it and can't flow freely. It is like the energetic banks have been dammed throughout their being. Okay. And they continuously block themselves in from rejuvenation of anything in their being energetically from the things that they think, say, and do. So let me show you that. All right. So look at that muddy green color, the depleted energy. Okay. And when you've got negative energy, if you notice the colors, there's a lack of orange, yellow, and red. Well, that has to do with your chakras. All right. And I'll explain that to you in a minute. See, the bulges and patterns show energy distortion. So distorted energy. Now, the person on the other side has flowing lines without distortion, shows the energy is balanced. Clear, vivid colors have positive energy. A perfect balance of every hue. Now, why does this happen? Well, let's make the correlation. Because of the state of the emotional, energetic frequency in which they choose to embody. You can see by the colors here of this person, red, yellow, well, actually red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and then purple. Okay, with the 2 different colors of blues. Those all indicative of chakra points. So, you know what? Let me pull up an easier photo that I like to work with because I did this picture myself. So no, I'm not an artist, but I'm very effective at what I teach. So let me throw this up. All right. So guys, as you can see my stick figure here. Come and let me have a little chat with you so y'all can see me. All right. So I have used this when I was doing a teaching for you guys all, and the video is on my YouTube channel. But if you can see by the different colors that are associated here throughout this stick being, these are all the 7 chakra points within your physical body. There are many more outside. Actually, in total, there's 22. Okay, so you got 15 more that are outside of your body that we're not going to focus on today. I just want you guys to see really what this is all about. All right. So with your root chakra in the red, this is your survival, whether you're rooted in your being or not. If this is off, everything's off. So really, what is this center? This center is the I am center. Everything that you attach to I am, that you firmly believe about yourself, is either keeping you rooted in your being or it is uprooting you out of your being. factually. So this is when you have to be empowering with your speech to your own being. And this is why I talk about telling you guys first thing in the morning, I am powerful, I am amazing, I am grateful, I am strong, I am capable. It is hopefully to ground you positively in your being. There's a method to my madness, even though nobody sees it. All I have to do is see it and keep it pushed out. Okay? So, guys, really take a look. This center is blocked by fear. All right? So, what does that really mean? Well, come on, what are you fearful about? So, if you're fearful, what's the biggest fear on the planet right now? Your fear of dying, your fear of not being loved, your fear of being judged, your fear of being shamed, blamed, guilted, denied, all of this stuff. You're fearful of people knowing who you really are, so you wear a mask. You're fearful of people seeing who you really are. Well, then you are not rooted in your being. In order to be really rooted in your I am, you know that you are a divine energetic force first, factually, because we all are initially. It is what we've been made to believe about ourselves that causes us to be fearful. We're not born fearful, not at all. We would have never accomplished anything in our life had we been born fearful. Okay, so this really distorts your energetic bank. Really, really does, because if it blocks you from being rooted and solid in your own skin, there's a huge problem in the rest of the flow within your whole being, all the way up. Okay? And when I like to sing about that saying is all the way up. Nothing can stop me. It's all the way up. I'm talking about my energetic flow, because literally I had to go down to the core of my being, into my root chakra, and get out any kind of restriction that was ever there. And there was a lot there, because there was a lot of shame, blame, guilt, denial, judgment, all kinds of stuff with everything that I had attached to I am, according to what everybody else made me to believe about myself. And it wasn't true. So these lies about myself that I had hung on to, believing, one, that I am too much. Two, that I would never amount to anything in this world. That was a huge thing that I was told as a kid. Number three, I am the spitting image of my father, and I will be just as he was, drunk and nobody. Okay? 3. Okay? 4, I should have never been born. I don't know how many times I was told that. Okay? 5, I was told by my grandmother on a daily basis, not daily, but anytime that I saw her, that I was the biggest mistake that my mother could have ever made. Okay? So these are a lot of the things that I grew up believing about myself, about I am. I grew up believing that I was not valid, that my words didn't mean anything, that I just must handle it, that I must just get over it. Okay? I grew up believing, okay, well, if I'm like my father, I better follow in his tracks and do everything he did, because it was like everybody was telling me that's who to follow, because I was like him and they didn't have time for me. It was go find something to do. I've got no time for you. It's, and so when I went down into that root chakra, there's a lot of stuff that I had to clean out that was not mine. And this is why I tell you guys, you got to write down what you believe about yourself to be true, to clear the distortions out of your primary rooting center in your being. So all of the things that you were told as a kid that are not true. And this is why I tell people, watch what you're saying to these kids, because it's really not cool. Okay? So this is the inner work that I talk about and that you have to go and do. If you want to clear the distortions out of your root chakra, because what does believing these things about yourself do? Well, it makes you grow up fearful that you'll never be loved. You'll never be accepted. You'll never be approved of. It makes you fearful that if you don't people please, well, then you'll never be heard or validated. It makes you fearful that you're just going to be alone for the rest of your life. It makes you fearful that, there's all kinds of things that I could continue with right now. But I think you guys get the point. So, of course, I had to go down into the root of my being and say, this may have been all shit that I was told and I was forced into because I couldn't make these choices for myself. But I know better now. And this is the big thing. I know better than what people told me about me. Because they constructed me to be a certain way, and then they blamed me for it, ostracized, segregated, and tortured me for it. Literally. So, I'm okay today, though. It doesn't matter what I lived. It's also that I could come out here and teach you guys what you need to do to realign with your divine. Okay? And I hope you all heard that. Realign with your divine. Because that's your energetic flow that's fueling you for life. And if you're not grounded in it, that's a real problem if you're not rooted in your own being. Factually. So the stuff that you believe about yourself is huge. But you don't know what's running on in your mind on repeat that is blocking you from achieving anything. Because you could strive for everything and anything, but in the root of your being, underneath it all, you believe that you are not worthy. You believe that you will not get it. You believe that you are not valid. You believe that you are nobody. Well, then guess what? That is what governs everything in your life, whether you are aware of it or not. And you may say, oh, how could that be? That was years ago. Well, because that's your fundamental belief systems. That's the foundation of your core beliefs about who you are. But you wouldn't know that if you wouldn't know that if you haven't checked. So I highly encourage you guys all to check. Yeah. Check what you believe about yourself. And I told you guys already how to do that. You take a piece of paper and a pen and you write down everything positive you believe about yourself, everything negative that you believe about yourself, down to the core. And don't think about it. Just let it dump out, all of it. And then look at it. Are these things that you came up with? Or is this something that your life came up with for you? Or were you installed with this belief by hearing it repetitively from your parents? Yeah. You got to look at that. Because without you facing the pattern, you cannot disrupt it. You will not accept it. You will avoid it. And the only way to change it and to disrupt a pattern of an energetic cycle is literally to look it dead in its face and disrupt it. Stop the flow and reinstate something else. Literally. Because you can't take something away without replacing something. So you can't take a belief system about yourself away without replacing it with something. So all of those things that you believe about yourself that were put there by other people that are governing your being must be removed like a bad root. And what gets put in its place? Fresh seed. In other words, you tell yourself, no, that's not true. You reverse it into something positive and actually write it out in the positive form. And you can actually take every negative belief system that you have about yourself and reframe it and reinstall it by choice. How do I know? I did it. How did I do it? I wrote all of my belief systems down about what I believe to be right about me. And then I attached the face and the name to the belief systems about where they came from and who made me believe that about myself. And the minute I saw really the correlation of who said what and made me believe what, man, it was a huge delete, 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 delete. No, 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 no. That's the farthest thing from who I am. And that is what's been governing who I am all my life. Yeah. That's not cool. And this is why I say watch what you're installing and planting in your mind, in the minds of your children. Because it lasts forever in that garden, and then they have to go and fucking uproot shit that they didn't even put there. Yeah. You know, it's kind of crazy because when you think about it, when it comes to family and history of these belief systems, it's like you've tilled your garden, you've planted your garden for yourself, you've made your patches, your rows, your everything, you're seeding your garden according to what you want. So you've planted your corn, your carrots, your broccoli, your tomatoes, your whatever, whatever, whatever. But what grows is completely opposite to what you've planted. And you won't understand why. Well, it's because of the initial seeds that were planted, not the ones you just planted, the ones that were planted initially, that were not uprooted, that will come alive again in that garden. This is why I tell everybody you have to go down to the root of your life in order to fix the root of your problems from the first 7 years of life. What were you told about yourself? Because it all matters. It constructed everything that you believe about yourself today. Did people have time for you? Did they validate what you were saying? Or were you told to be quiet and only speak when spoken to? And when you see adults speaking, you don't talk at all. So were you having only interactions with other children? Were your reactions to things based out of fear, trauma, denial, responses being forced into things that just, because all of that has factors in it too. You know? So let's not get stuck on the root chakra too tough, but that is the root of all your problems. I say it all the time. The root of all your problems in your flow is whether you are rooted in your being. Why? Because that is your survival. That's your survival center. That's not your abundance center. That is your survival, primary safety and well-being and homeostasis of your being. Literally depends on that root. And you need strong roots for anything to grow properly. So your root chakra is really, 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 really important to go in, clear out the distortions, and empower yourself with very strong I am affirmations. And if you need that extra help, go get my affirmations book of loving reminders of I am. Because that book was to keep my granddaughter rooted in her precious being. And that's why that book was written. I wrote that for my granddaughter as soon as I knew she was coming through. And that's why. Was so that if by any chance I wouldn't be alive when she's old enough and needs these reminders, and I can't be here to give her them, well, my book will eternally be here for her to give her loving reminders of I am, of who she is energetically before she even took her form. And I talk about it in the book too. That book, she channeled, I felt her energy before she even took her form. Literally. Anyway, let's move up to Your sacral, which is your creative and pleasure center. This is I feel. Okay. So anything that comes attached to what you're feeling has to do with this center, and it affects all of your creativeness and all of your pleasure. So naturally, you should be able to feel once rooted in your being, because that's key. If you can't be rooted in your primary energetic point, well, then you can't grow like a tree in the rest of your being. And I want you guys to look at this image and understand that the red is your rooting like a tree. Well, you cannot stand firmly in your being energetically and flow freely if you are not grounded and rooted first. All right. So let's get on to the sacral pleasure center. Now, this is your I feel center. So this is an energetic processing center that, yes, if your root is distorted, well, so is this one. Okay. Now, anything attached to I feel, which is in a negative way, will distort your energetic flow through this center, because guilt is what distorts this center. So if you have ever made to feel guilty or shameful about anything that has pleasured you in your life, whether it is a sensation, whether it is a sexual pleasure, whether it is anything that you've created in your life and you've been shamed for it or blamed for it, whether it is sexual or not, but sex has a huge, huge factor on the distortions of this center, because it does also run your sexual organs. So if you've ever been guilted about anything in your life, it does affect this center. And this is where erectile dysfunction comes into a lot of play. And even, anyway, has a lot to do with being rooted in your being and your sacral pleasure center. Okay? And that actually has everything to do with you being or having erectile dysfunction if you're a guy. Okay? And that is because it's your pleasure center. Now, if you're trying to create things that you're passionate about, and if you're trying to have healthy connections sexually with another being, or even yourself, whatever the case is, okay, whatever turns your crank, I don't judge. Now, there's no judgment in energy, so you have to think about, were you ever guilted through your life about anything? Even when you were a child and you were exploring and discovering and learning about your own body, were you guilted for that? Were you shamed for that? Because it distorts this center. What also distorts this center is pain and trauma and sexual abuse and verbal abuse when it comes to sexual nature, or exposure to sexual things at a young age that are traumatizing. It really affects this center. So it changes everything about the way you feel about yourself. It makes you change the way you feel about your creative power. It makes you feel, that's where your true feeling about yourself and your capacities to, you see, after you're rooted in your being, well, next, when you're grounded, it's time to create. Well, if you're not grounded in your being, you cannot create, because your survival is not met. So if your survival's at stake because you're not solid in your skin, it's not time to create. So you cannot create, enjoy healthy sex, enjoy healthy creation of anything in your life if you are not rooted in your own being. It's impossible to do so. All right. So let's, realize that center is blocked by guilt. So if you felt guilty about anything in your life, absolutely anything, if you're holding on to anything in your being that you're scared of, fearful at the bottom, fear, or if you're guilty about anything, like you don't have a clean conscience, it affects everything. Your rooting, your sexual pleasure, your pleasure center and capacity, totally, your creative capacity, everything. So let's move up. Look, so you've got your root and your sacral. So look, let's just say your root's messed up, you're not grounded. Or let's say you are rooted in your being. You feel healthy in your creative center. Well, then you'll have the willpower to get anything that you want done. See the correlation? But if there's a distortion in your root and a distortion in your sacral, well, then you will not have the willpower to will it into existence. Your willpower does not come from your mind. It comes from your solar, I do energy center of your being. That's in your core. That's your solar plexus. That is your I do, your get up and go. Literally. So if you're not rooted in your being with everything you're telling yourself, well, then you cannot be rooted, or you cannot be pleasuring yourself in your experience, okay, or creating through your highest capacity. Nor do you have the willpower. And these are all energetic flows, right? Well, how does it come to that we manifest things? Well, we need to be rooted in our being with our creative capacity full flowing by pleasure centers, by what pleases us to do. And then we will will it into existence, right? By how? By loving it all, speaking it into existence. Okay? But I'll keep going up. Look, your willpower is blocked by shame. It's all the I can't. I can't. You're shaming your being. I can't do this. I can't do that. I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do that. Well, I don't have this. I don't have that. That all blocks your willpower. It blocks your capacity of your energetic center. Literally. Oh, and I see the time is running. So let me go through this real quick because I don't want to be here longer. I would hear longer than an hour today. So understand that if any one of these centers, okay, any one of these lowered centers in your being, if any one of them are distorted, okay, any one of these are distorted, well, guess what? So is everything else. If there's a distortion in one, there's a distortion in all. Because they all flow together. And each one of these centers that you see over here, literally, okay, so from the root, from the sacral, from the solar, from the heart, from the throat to the third eye to the crown, if there's a distortion in one, there's a distortion in all. And it dams up the flow of your energy, which doesn't allow the flow to your other organs, which all of these centers, they govern the organs in the same location of the body. So it's your energy that's actually fueling all your organs. And what manages all of your energy is your brain. Okay? That's really what manages. That's your management system. And what distorts your management system? Your thoughts, your words, your speech, your ideas, all of that, and what you believe about yourself primarily. So let's talk about the heart chakra here. Okay, you see with the green, that's where your heart chakra is, let's say, okay? Heart in the middle of your chest, right here. Well, are you able to love yourself? You can't if you're not grounded and flowing in the lowered centers. So why can't you love yourself? Well, because you're distorted in what you believe that you are. You're distorted in what you feel about yourself. You're distorted in what you believe you can do. These are real energetic centers. By what you believe and think about yourself alters their capacities, diminishes the energetic flow. So let's get to the love. I love. Your heart chakra is when you open yourself up to love, the love of yourself, for yourself, and the love for all in existence. Okay? And this is why I talk about people. If you're not loving yourself, you cannot love another. If you're living in shame, blame, guilt, denial, resentment, anger, you can't even love yourself. Love is a frequency. It's not just a word. Everybody gets this, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. It's all shit talk. It's an energy. It's a force of life. It is it's a state that you embody. It's a way of being. It is not just a word. No, it's a force. It's an action. It is a verb. It is not a noun. It does not sit still. Love doesn't sit. Love is action. Love is action. Love lets you breathe. Love lets you experience what you're experiencing. Love allows you to process all that data. Yeah. But love will also fuel everything that you think, say, and do about yourself. And this is what gets distorted. Everything that you believe yourself to be with the I ams, everything you feel about yourself, saying, oh, I feel that I can't do this. I feel I can't do that. I feel da. Look, if you're stuck in any of those lower centers, you can't even be loving yourself fully with your force of life. Okay. And that's where it all begins. Like you got to go down to the root of the problem, uproot everything, clear out all of everything through these centers. It's not even a joke. You go down to the root, clean it all out. It's like, this is what I talk about, opening the storage and going back, way to the back and clearing that shit out. You have to. And you can clear out the stuff in your, what you do and you feel centers. But if you don't go down to your I am center and fix that I am and how you view yourself, forget the rest of the work. It's useless because that underlying problem is what you believe yourself to be. And that's attached to everything that you say, I am, even in joking. And that's why you should never speak low about yourself ever. It actually distorts your own energetic body. It's like you're talking down to yourself and your body's like going, what the fuck? Wait, what do you mean? You're shaming your own being. You're blaming your own being. You're telling yourself things and commanding things into your life that are not right or real about yourself. And this is why your body bucks. It's like, no, it's not. Well, you're making it to be that way. So let's know what the heart chakra blocks. It gets blocked by grief. You could be grieving an old version of yourself. Oh, I wish I was 16. So, that's when I really loved myself. Oh, I wish I was a young teenager again. That's when I really, really felt good about myself. Always looking back at your past, grieving what you wish you had today, grieving loss of people, places, things in your life, grieving opportunities that were missed, grieving experiences that you wish you could have on replay. Grief comes in many different forms. Well, any grief in your heart, you're blocking your heart chakra. Any grief, in your heart, energy chakra center literally blocks your capacity to love. It distorts it. And we're talking energetic flow. Okay, well, if you are not rooted and if you don't feel right about yourself and if you're not in a flowing state of doing, and if you're not in a flowing state of loving yourself, well, then you definitely can't speak the truth. because you're not even speaking the truth to yourself about yourself, to your own being. That's why you are incapable of speaking the truth to another. Factually. Because you're not even speaking the truth about yourself. So your throat chakra gets blocked. And that has to do with your energy centers. People literally get blocked from the inability to speak the truth about themselves if their root chakra is distorted with what they believe about themselves. Yeah. So it's not that, oh, a liar is just a liar. No, a liar is really somebody that believes the lies. Now, we've all been lied to. I know I was. That doesn't mean you can't fix it. I did. And this is what I talk about, being in the purest potential of your being, is when you remove all of these distortions that I'm talking about and your energy centers flow properly and flow together freely. Okay? And you cannot speak. This is why me speaking the truth rattles people to the root of their core, because of all of the distortions in it. It's not I have a problem. No. I have cleaned out all of the distortions out of my being and the false beliefs about myself, which enables me to speak truth. And that's what also gives me the ability to smell the shit when somebody else is not. And I know exactly where it comes from, what center it comes from in their being. So what blocks your throat chakra? Why are you always sick? Why do you have sore throats? Because you're not speaking your truth. Not to you, yourself. You're not speaking the truth of you to you or anybody else. So your throat chakra gets blocked by distortion. That's why people have a hard time speaking or finding the words to speak, or feel ashamed to speak, or have a fear to speak. It's because of all of the lowered energy centers before that. They're all distorted. Yeah. So if everything's distorted throughout your whole body, don't expect for your insight to be clear. Because your insight, your third eye, the pineal gland, it's not in the front of your head here, it's in your brain. Well, if that is decalcified and operating fully, well, you see and know quite a bit. But if you're distorted in all of your other lowered centers, there is no way that you can be an enlightened being. And what blocks your third eye? The illusions. And what are the illusions? The illusions about who you think you are. And that's all it comes down to. Put your energy first. And I'll teach you that. And I'll tell you that. And I will keep telling you that until it pops for you. Okay? Literally. And when I say that pop, let's pop that pineal gland back into function. Because even brushing your teeth is purposely calcified your pineal gland to block you from your capacities of your third eye. But that's okay. We all had a third eye for a reason. So, guys, I want you to really understand that there's a lot of people that claim to be awakened, enlightened beings, but they are not speaking the truth. They are not coming from love. They are not, listen. So don't get fooled out there, okay? With anybody claiming to assist you energetically or with spiritual work, and they have no fucking clue really what they're talking about. I'll be the one to say it. So let's talk about your cosmic energy crown of I knowing. Okay, so wait. Your third eye is I see. So the clarity of seeing and knowing has to come from the clarity of the flow without distortion from everything underneath it. Okay? They all correlate, and you got to be rooted in order for you to climb them. This is the true Jacob's ladder. But you got to be rooted in order to climb the ladder, and you got to clean it all out. All of it, all of it, all of it. So when you get to your third eye for your seeing, Well, you don't see to the bottom of waters that aren't calm. And that's all I can say. So when you've got rough waters, you have no chance in seeing the bottom of the lake, let's say. But when your waters are calm, you can see to the bottom of the lake, no problem. You know? So this is the clarity is key. Well, you have to be calm in your waters to have that clarity. And you will not attain that clarity and peace of mind, literally. And if you're distorted in any of your centers below that, right? So your crown, your I know, this is your knowing. This is the true talk about the cup overflowing. Now, when I talk about the cup overflowing, you have a flow of energy that runs through your body here, okay? You see, from the bottom here, it runs through your body. And at the top, it comes out, it spouts out. It spouts out. Why do you think all these fountains got their ideas with the spout, the spew? It's the spew of the energy that comes out of your crown. And it circles you, embodies you, like the picture that I just showed you about the encasing of the biofield. Well, it recycles, your energy recycles in your biofield. You're a magnet. And the flow of that brings things to us. But if you haven't been rooted and worked all of your energy intentionally, what it is removing the distraction, the distortions, so that it can flow freely and it can break through your crown, because even that you're capped because of all of the distortions in all the other centers. So the true meaning of the cup overflowing is actually when you can clean out all of these distortions, okay, at the bottom, all of the distortions, all of your energies flowing up right through your being, breaking through your crown. And that is what actually gives you that full biofield. Okay. Now, after I show you this, I will remind you again, literally, the yellow on the side is a full biofield. Okay. Full flowing, cup overflowing. Now, the one on the green is the one with all the distortions in all of the centers. Now, you understand why? You don't see any red rooted in their being. You don't see any orange, creative, pleasure centers. You do not see any yellows for willpower. Now, I really, really, really hope and pray that you guys can understand this a little bit more now and understand how important it is for you guys to go and get your budgeting your energetic bank, managing your true wealth. Okay, because everything does matter. Everything's a transaction or a withdrawal, and you need a reserve. Okay, and when you don't, and your energy's depleted, well, those centers don't work right. And then what happens? You get very sick. And your organs in the centers that are distorted don't work right. So that's where you get ill. And you start not feeling good. And then that turns into disease because you can't fix your frequency. Well, I love y'all. I hope and pray you guys understand why I do this. And now you can understand my energy a little better because I have no distortions. This is what makes me as powerful as I am. And from this state, there's no need to self-regulate. Ever. Guys, you really, really, really have to manage and budget your energetic bank because that is really your true wealth. I encourage you all to go get my book at lulu.com. There's a workbook in it for y'all. And if you guys need help, reach out. I love y'all. Have a great day. Peace.